What is up, people, and welcome back to the channel. So today on Hayabusa Mini, we're going to be installing this Quick Shifter Pro, Quick Shifter Easy Shifter thing. So the other one I had, I couldn't get to work correctly, right? And apparently it's because the way my system works. I have a pull-up shift, push-down shift. I may have had it backwards. Yeah, so that's in there. So this one, I've read through the instructions on this little sensor, because this little sensor has to go either on your shift rod or on the part that actually attaches to the gearbox itself, the little thingy bob. So because mine is a pull to up shift, this has to go on the little thingy bob on the output of the gearbox, not on the shift rod. It's only on the shift rod if you're compressing the rod for upshift. If you are extending the rod, it has to go on the gear linkage thing coming out of the gearbox. So that's got to go to there. Then that plugs in to what was in this bag. That plugs into this, yeah. Then this plugs into this, and then this plugs into the engine. So anyway, let's get it fitted, shall we? Stop messing around. Oh yeah. Right then, so this little doofer is not gonna zoom in. Oh, there you go. This little thing, anyway, it's gotta go all the way down there onto that. There. So that bolt's got to come out. Yeah. Then with this, you receive a new bolt, which is Loctited, and two washers. Now these washers are conical washers. Yeah, so they've got a dish to them. You can't really see in them. Let me show you a larger conical washer. These are the parts out of my diff that we broke. This is a larger conical washer. As you can see, it's got a dish to it. It's not flat, right? So what you have to do is these conical washers have to go opposite to each other. So imagine they are spreading apart, not that way. See how there's a gap? Wrong. They have to face each other like that. One either side of this little contraption, like that. Then when this bolt goes in, right, so we've got it washer facing down through the doofer, washer facing up, like that. And what I am guessing happens, you have to tighten this up to 5 Newton meters, which is not a lot, right? And I think what occurs is these things that come out of the gearbox have got a slot in them. If I tighten that right up, it's locked solid. But if I do it to 5 Newton meters, when I pull, and with these conical washers, I'm guessing this opens up a fraction. Yeah? This opens up a fraction, which then compresses this, giving it its shift signal. That is what I am thinking occurs. Yeah, so that's how I'm thinking. You shift, that slightly opens, and that's bollock, compresses this, shift engaged. Right, I'm going to get that on, and I'll come back for you. Right then, that took a bit longer than expected, because I had to change some bits. Because basically, where this sensor goes on my one, right, can you see it there now? Right, so there is the sensor. But I had to change this arm. Basically, the original one, the orientation of it put the sensor quite close to the exhaust. So I had to change that. But because I changed that, I had to change this end on the shift rod. And because I had to change this end on the shift rod, I had to take the shift rod out and straighten the shift rod, which now also means I need to make a new slider for my chain, which is a little bit worn out anyway. So I've got some poly out for that. So I'm going to make a new one of them. I mean snowball. But we're there now, that's on. This is the wire for it. So now what we've got to do is the rest of the wiring, which is pretty simple stuff, to be honest. So basically, I'll zoom out because I left you zoomed in. These go onto the coil, so you unplug the coil. One into the wiring, one into the coil. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes to an earth, a chassis earth, and this plugs in there. I've downloaded the app. It's on the App Store, so I'll show you that now. Yeah, so that's either for Android or iOS, the iPhone stuff, but everything is in the instructions. The instructions are really quite simple, which is what I like to see. So now we've got to put this on. Now it's unlucky that this could have done with being a bit longer, but it's for a bike, not a bike powered car, because this has got to reach the coils. Yeah, and that's got to go somewhere. Then this has got to reach wherever I put that the other module. So I want the other module inside the car, so it's close to my phone. So I'm going to put my phone on the steering wheel, so when I'm out I can adjust. Yeah, so we'll get this plugged in then, shall we, and we'll see how it all goes together. Right, so what I'm going to do first is plug them in, then work out where I want to stick this box. I'm pretty sure I've read all the instructions. These can go on any coil. They're not specific designed as in this has to go on 1, this has to go on 4. They are just any, right? We put it apart and we're gonna work out the best routing. So put that on the coil. Knock this one off, put this one on the coil. Now these need to be plugged in to these. So we've got those two are linked. These two linked. That must be because it's only got one wire in it. That red one must be the power for the system. Yeah. It would have been nice if I could have put the coil wires underneath these throttle bodies, but I can't because of this. And it wouldn't have been so much here. Do you know what I mean? Let me have a think. Otherwise, everything's going to get a little bit stuff everywhere. Do you know what I mean? See, it's just going to get a bit messy. If I could run them up between the throttle bodies. Right then, people, as you've seen, I dug in a little bit because I didn't like, basically these wires were just green and red and that just stuck out too much. So I just popped the plugs off, put a bit of heat shrink on and then loom tape just to, you know, hide them down a little bit. So looks much better. So my sensor is on down there, and I put a P-clip there to hold the wire away from the chain. My first box is there with the wires going down into it. And my second box is, let me just drop in, there, right underneath my Healtech gear shift indicator. Right, so yeah, because I've got both of them. So when I first started the engine, I was like, it doesn't work because I can't see an LED. Then I realised it's on the bottom. So what you do is you flick on your green, straight to red. Then when it fires up, goes to green. Yeah, so that's saying it's ready for it to work. Yeah. Right then, so it's very, very simple. It really is. So basically, you download the app, which I've seen, but you've seen, but I'll stick it back in now, a photo of it, right? Then basically, you get in your vehicle, or sit on your vehicle. We're getting in the vehicle. Then you go to Setup Wizard, and it runs you through about 9 things or something you have to do. You have to speed match it to your RPM by pressing the button. So you speed match it to the RPM. You select how many cylinders you've got. You have to put your foot on the clutch and you have to shift the gear. So it's looking for the amount of force you apply. Within my car, it's up to 100%. So you just pull in. You do a test cut. It's a very simple setup. And it was registering on the upshift and the downshift. Apparently you can use this as a downshift on the higher RPM, but I'm only going to use it as an upshift and clutch downshift. Very simple setup, and it looks tidy. As I say, I just covered the wires because it just looked a little bit. It would have been nice if they'd have done them all in black, but yeah, nice little thing there. Looks good. The app works. It gives you all the information that you could ever need for making it to work. But it's so simple. You just plug the coils in, put your earth on, and that's it. That's it. Right then. That is the Healtech flat shifter install. Very simple, unless you're like me and you want to cover the wires. Apart from that, it seemed good. Now I've had this system because my mate's got one and he's just put it on his bike and he loves it. So I thought I'd give it a try. And what I'm going to do is I've got a phone holder. I'm going to put that on my steering wheel. So when I'm out, it's a GoPro phone holder, so it's a proper one. so I can adjust the milliseconds whilst I'm actually using it. You know what I mean? Well then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, people.